Is Donald Trump in the fight of Epstein for sex trafficking? Why you don't want people to see the fight?
Scene as Donald Trump fired thousands of State Department employees, lifetime foreign diplomats and public servants. They marched out of the State Department one by one, and they were given a standing ovation by others who worked at the State Department. This as Donald Trump, he's rotting on the inside, he's rotting on the outside. It is rotten at the White House with the biggest cover-up yet. You all saw Donald Trump's deranged post yesterday regarding the Epstein list, which he says didn't exist, but then he said actually Obama, Clinton, James Comey, and Democrats created the Epstein list and created the files, and it's a hoax and it's fake, so therefore he's not releasing it. Move on, there's nothing to see, and he's very happy with the way Attorney General Pam Bondi and his FBI Director Kash Patel have completely covered up the Epstein list and the Epstein files. Oh, his people are pissed. By the way, Epstein files, Epstein list are the most searched item on Google right now. You have the Trump supporters, his most loyal supporters. They're all burning their MAGA hats. Some are torching their MAGA hats. Some are burning their MAGA hats and giving the burnt MAGA hats the middle finger. This is happening en masse right now. Rasmussen, one of Donald Trump's top pollsters, have said they've never seen anything like this before. They said anybody important in the MAGA movement right now is absolutely livid and pissed. And you have Elon Musk, who previously said Trump was on the Epstein list, and that's why Donald Trump was covering this all up. Well, he's sticking in the dagger and he is turning it. He goes, seriously? Trump said Epstein half a dozen times while telling everyone to stop talking about Epstein. Just release the files as promised. MAGA is up in flames tonight. And just think about how stupid he made his influencers, like all those right-wing MAGA influencers who back in February went to the White House. They held up those binders that said the Epstein files, phase one, and Pam Bondi, Donald Trump's attorney general, did a media tour, and she's like, the Epstein files are on my desk. We are getting ready to release them. And you know, I've been like, there's no way they're releasing the Epstein files. Trump's going to be all over him. He's all over the files that have been released already. I mean, about 10% of all of the Epstein files are already out there based on the civil and criminal cases where judges have allowed some of the documents to get out there. Trump's in the deposition. Trump's on the call log. Trump's on the flight log, right? Trump is all over the stuff. Epstein used Mar-a-Lago to recruit the girls that he sex trafficked. Virginia Giuffre, who recently died by suicide, she was 17 years old, homeless, got a job at Mar-a-Lago. Ghislaine Maxwell, who trafficked for Epstein, would go to Mar-a-Lago, find the girls, find Giuffre, brought her to Epstein, Epstein trafficked her. That's what's going on. All right, so how is Donald Trump responding to the fact that his entire term right now is going down in flames? Well, he's got to run to state regime media, Fox, but the only host on state regime media who even wanted to be near him, do you know who it was? Lara Trump. No one else wanted anything to do with him last night. So Lara Trump does the interview with him, and she asks hardball questions. I'm just joking. She asks, some say you're the bodyguard of Western civilization. How would you respond? Here, play this clip.
Especially this last couple of weeks has been pretty amazing.
Some people have called you the bodyguard of Western civilization.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that title?
Well, I understand what they mean. It was going bad. We were going bad.
This is their plan. This is their way of trying to deal with the biggest scandal Trump's been hit with yet. Lara Trump then asks her father-in-law, how do you have the ability to make such a good cabinet? Here, watch this.
Your cabinet is comprised of so many incredible people, and people that even a year ago, so many would never have imagined, like RFK Jr., who a year ago was running for president as a Democrat. Why do you think you have this ability? And I feel like it has really been to your benefit. Look at this incredible cabinet you've put together. They're all people who are working to make America great again.
They've been incredible, actually. The cabinet's been incredible.
And by the way, one of the funny things in this interview is Lara Trump looks like she's like a giant compared to Donald Trump where he's sitting. Let's take a look at that photo. Anyway, then Lara Trump says, how do you want to be remembered? This is their way of trying to get their viewers to be distracted. But even the Fox cult, they're not being brainwashed by this anymore. They're going, release the Epstein files. Here's what she says. Here, play this clip.
Just to wrap up here, talking about people not remembering, I don't think anyone will ever forget President Donald J. Trump. But when history looks back on this time in our country, when history looks back on you, how would you like to be remembered?
A good person, but a person that saved our country. I really believed our country was going down for the fall.
He's now their economic minister, an industrial economic minister. Here's Melanie Joly at an important meeting yesterday or 2 days ago with her counterpart in the European Union. And she goes, we're turning to Europe as America is getting weaker. Here, play this clip.
What I wanted to emphasize today is, as Minister in charge of industries and of the economy, is we are not alone in this world. We need to be closer to our allies. And that is why today is so important. It's been only 15 days that the Prime Minister signed an agreement with the EU to make sure that not only, of course, that we have free trade agreement, but that we are very closely aligned on defense and on all our industrial policies. And that's why Stefan and I today are together, because we're in solution mode and we're trying to make sure that ultimately, while the US is becoming weaker, we will become stronger and we will diversify and turn ourselves towards Europe.
All right, while we're here together, I'll give you some more data points. We had Michael Wolff, Donald Trump's biographer, and someone who was going to be potentially doing Jeffrey Epstein's biographer. We had him on the Midas Touch Network yesterday. Here's what Michael Wolff had to say. Here, let's play this clip.
Once when I was, this was in Mar-a-Lago, I went to have a sit down with him. And his aides just asked me, a rough outline of what I wanted to talk about. And I had a lot of subjects, but I also said Epstein, and they said, if you ask about that, he'll just stop the interview and you won't get anything. So this person said, I recommend you can ask about anything, but I really recommend you not ask that if you hope for this interview to go on.
Now here's Michael Wolff in another interview talking about the photos that he saw of Trump and Epstein with naked girls on their laps. Here, play this clip.
And I've said before that Epstein used to bring out this set of pictures. There were about a dozen snapshots. And among them, there are at least 3 that I remember. 2 of topless girls sitting in Trump's lap around Epstein's swimming pool, and then one with a stain on the front of Trump's pants with 3 or 4 girls laughing and pointing at it. So I have seen those pictures.
So what's your best guess as to where they are?
Well, I'm my best guess is that Epstein kept them in the safe. The safe was emptied out by the FBI. Where are those pictures?
Lie is very difficult to keep. White truth will always be the truth, easy to keep. Donald Trump released the file of Epstein.